Wow, that's a really nice fan. Hello everyone, Vintage Fan Collector here, and today we have a 1994 to 95 Craftmade Decorative in chrome finish with chrome mirror acrylic blades, because they also had a gold mirror, and then they also had clear and smoked acrylic blades. So smoked clear and regular clear. So this is my dining room fan, and I know y'all probably have already seen it, of course, in my Fans in My House videos. But this is the actual video for it, because all the ones I made before I'm just not happy with. So we're going to do this, and this is the last time I'm filming this fan in this location. Eventually, I will get a video of this with 5 blades, and maybe even a light kit, either a neon light kit or a 4-arm light kit, because Craftmade actually still sells their F400 4-arm fitter in chrome, despite the fact that they don't actually make any fans in chrome. The closest thing that they have, which is probably why they make it still in this finish, is polished nickel on the Craftmade Townsend, which is a traditional fan that you can adapt a regular light kit to, and a few other fans as well. Otherwise, none of their traditional fans have been made in this finish since about 2006 or something. I need to go back and check in my catalogs, but I think it's about that time period. So anyway, without further ado, I'll go ahead and demonstrate the fan on low. For those who are unaware, this has a 153 by 15 millimeter spinner motor, so under normal circumstances that is something I don't really like. However, because for whatever reason Craftmade kind of made these a little bit powerful, well, not a little bit, a lot powerful, they're actually worth collecting in my opinion, simply because they move enough air to be comfortable for me, an airflow snob, to actually enjoy them. So I'm okay with having this in here because it actually makes the room more comfortable when it's on medium and high speed, and even low. So otherwise, I don't really like collecting fans with 153 millimeter motors unless they're like 42 inches or smaller. But I guess the best way to put this is when an automaker makes a 4-cylinder engine and they put turbos on it, and it actually performs the same as a V8 motor does. Obviously, it's not going to be really better than a 188 or a stack motor, but it gets really freaking close in air movement to those. And it actually goes about 200 RPMs, which is pretty fast, considering it still has a 12.5 or 12 degree blade pitch. So that's one of the reasons I like these, plus they're huge childhood fans. They are relatively common here. Actually not relatively, they are really common here, in all sorts of different finishes, configurations, whatnot. So I've seen them a lot as a kid, and I see them still a lot today. And I've actually seen them with rounded blades in a 4-blade configuration numerous times, which is really cool. And that's one of the reasons I did 4 blades on this, but also because the 5th blade arm is bent so bad that this thing just wobbled horribly. And there's no way to balance this with the weight, because if you take it off, it might possibly, I don't really know, but I don't want to risk it, peel that reflective backing off the blade. I don't know if it's inside the blade or not, I just don't want to risk it. Even though I have another set of these blades that's actually brand new, I still don't want to risk it. So, as you can see, it from my last videos and stuff, if you haven't watched my latest Fans in My House video, I did raise the down rod from a 6 to a 3, so this fan is higher, and then I added a little pull chain fob on it, and I balanced it so it doesn't wobble anymore at all. So here's medium. It has a pretty nice low speed, I will mention. As you saw, it's relatively aesthetic, but it also still moves air. Medium is pretty functional too. You can't hear it because of the fans on in the kitchen, but it does have bearing noise. Let me turn this off. Okay. Now you can hear it. So the story behind this fan is I got it from Tommy, who is the ceiling fan page, or now it's the fan page on YouTube. He shipped this from Chicago or wherever, obviously, and I was originally going to get this when I still lived in my old house, but I bought it from him the week I was moving out, or we were all moving, and we just both agreed that, or it might have been 1 to 2 weeks before, but we agreed that instead of just having it shipped to my old address, we would just wait until I moved. Simply because sometimes packages get late, and it would have been really bad if it arrived at my old house. Even though I live pretty close to it and still keep in touch with all my old neighbors and stuff, it's just but not something I really want to happen. So we waited, and once I moved, I gave him the green light. But this is something I can find here, but I figured since he was already wanting to sell them, and I got it, or it went to somebody at Fanimation, I went ahead and jumped on it. He did take off the really cool chrome glass ring spotlight kit, but that's alright, no big deal. I'll find stuff like that here. And yeah, so doesn't have the best bearings, and I'm probably going to do a motor swap on this with a different decorative at some point, just because when you change bearings on a spinner motor fan, there's a 50-50 chance it could just ruin the bearing seat, and then it'll always make a rocking sound, and it'll never sound good anyway. Like you got rid of the hiss, but then you get a new sound after that. So I just don't feel it's worth replacing bearings on any spinner motor fan, because unfortunately, as much as I love them, they are kind of made to be a relatively disposable fan. So I figure I can just part out a brass decorative or something, and if it has good bearings, it's still 4.5, and use it. Here's high. I think that's the best plan for this, because I really would like to have this continually installed, and I'm getting tired of that bearing noise. Plus, I guarantee this thing would go even faster if it didn't have bad bearings. So yeah, with these blades it spins at about 190 to 195 RPM. They are a bit heavy, but generally speaking with a wood blade they would spin faster than that. And it moves great air. I can feel airflow from where I'm standing. I'd say it moves about 5,000-ish CFM, which is pretty good. So definitely good fans. Lots of people hate on these, and in general just hate on Craftmade. Most of it is pretty misinformed, and some of these people have the inability to look at these fans for what they actually are. And it's kind of like when you look at the past with today's standards, you can't really enjoy or understand the past eras when you use today's social and moral standards. It's just not, you can't look at history that way, and you can't look at these fans that way either. I will say that these housing construction-wise are obviously not as good as the restyled housing, because they are literally a builder housing. So in this era of the 90s and 80s, they were pretty much sleeper fans. They looked very unassuming while still looking nice. They're just unassuming fans, but they perform quite well for what they are. That's pretty much the best way to put this era of Craftmade. And they also have the most silent fans of any spinner motor company back then, because you only hear bearing noise. There is no hum. I'll let you listen. No hum at all. That's one thing that Craftmade had a serious edge over on anybody. Like even Casablanca's spinner motor fans buzz. They were never able, as a high-quality showroom company, Casablanca that is, to get their spinner motor fans quiet, but Craftmade did it. Now, I will say today, because they've changed OEMs probably twice, they're not as quiet as they once were. They're not very loud, but they still have that slight hum. I don't really know why. I think it might be because they changed to a metal ball in the last 10 years. That might be it, to be honest. But regardless, they do have a little bit of a hum compared to where they were dead silent before. That was one of the things that Craftmade seriously did well. Aside from making fans that look kind of unassuming, perform absolutely great. So, that's pretty much my take on it. I only talk about it like that because I'm tired of hearing the misinformation. You don't have to like Craftmade fans, but at least understand that they're not as bad as people say. I mean, I can understand why you might not like the looks or the fact that the construction of the housings in this era especially are not up to par with like Casablanca or whatever, but then again, they didn't cost as much as Casablanca fans, so they shouldn't have to be. It's just, Some people are just really big fan snobs or fan boomers, whatever you want to call them. But I enjoy my Craftmade fans, and they've been a big part of my fan sightings growing up, and just fan sightings in general today even. So I like them, and it's even cooler that they are a local, still to this day, brand. So that's nice. But yeah. Also, for my camera battery dies, there's the Globe logo, and you can see that these blade arms are actually concealed. That is another thing that Craftmade did that no one else did at the time. Quorum followed behind, but not the same year. I believe in 93 or 94, they went on all their traditional fans to the concealed hardware blade arms. Now, granted, the housings are still not concealed hardware. That didn't happen until 99. But the blade arms were concealed long before Casablanca decided to go to that route on their traditional fans. Obviously, Casablanca, with their badge stuff in 1989, did concealed housing and concealed hardware stuff for those fans, but the Panama, Delta II, Lady Delta, Saturn, etc., those kind of fans still had exposed screws. And then Quorum probably did their concealed hardware in like 1995 or 96. I would say. And then Quorum is also a local brand, and they still are. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching. Till next time.